Welcome to Sriram's IAS. Let us try to discuss urban governance. So, as we all know, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, 1992, has provided for the constitutional status for urban local bodies, that is municipalities. Okay, it added a new schedule, that is 12th schedule, and this 12th schedule consists of 18 special functions or functional items that can be devolved to the urban local bodies by the state government. And also it has introduced a new part 9A, and it consists of articles 243P to 243ZZ. Okay, so now let us try to understand the urban transformation. Okay, so urban areas are the landscape is being transformed. Okay, so what transformation, what urban transformation as India is experiencing? Okay, so first of all, the urban transformation, there is a significant change in the land use patterns and the socio-economic activities. So land use patterns in the sense the area, the specific area, how the land is being used. For example, the percentage of land in agriculture, forestry, residential, industrial, commercial, etc. And also what kind of socio-economic activities are taking place. Okay, so there is a significant change in the land use pattern. Okay, so an area, if it gets urbanized, the percentage of land used in agriculture reduces, and the other aspects, for example, the percentage of area in commercial or residential or industrial increases, and also the socio-economic activities. The increase in socio-economic activities, commercial activities, there is revenue generation. So the economic impact is what? So the economic impact is the urban areas significantly contribute to the revenue generation. Okay, so there is a significant change in the land use pattern because of urban transformation. There is a significant change in the land use pattern and also socio-economic activities, resulting in the significant contribution to revenue generation by urban areas. And also regarding the reclassification, there is also a reclassification of urban settlements, that is from village panchayats, okay, from villages, okay, or village panchayats, the area, when it transforms to an urban area, it moves towards a municipal council and municipalities. Okay, so there is a reclassification of settlements, that is many rural areas have been transitioned into urban centers. So initially a village or village panchayat, it is moving towards a municipal council and municipality. Okay, because of land use pattern and the change in the socio-economic activities. And regarding the population growth, the urban areas, there is population. Why? Because it has a pull factor because of the employment opportunities and better services provided. So many there is a migration from the rural areas to urban areas. So there is an increased urban population, and the urban population in India reached 530 million in 2024. Okay, and in comparison with China or at the global rank, India has the second largest urban population after China, that is 942 million. So this is regarding the facts about the urban transformation of India. Now, city governance. Okay, so how the city is governed. Okay, so you have mainly urban local governments, that is municipalities. The 74th Constitutional Amendment Act has given constitutional status to municipalities, and also you have state level agencies. So these both municipalities, that is urban local governments, and state level agencies provide services, but the primary responsibility for provision or primary responsibility for city level governance is with the municipalities and also service delivery. Okay, so the primary responsibility is with the municipalities, that is urban local governments, and the state level agency also, like development authorities, water boards, housing boards, also play key roles. So there are two authorities, okay, not only the municipalities but also the state level agencies also, they provide services. They also play key roles. Because of this, there is a problem. Okay, so what is the problem? There is overlap of functions. When there is overlap of functions, you can't pin the responsibility on one particular authority. So the responsibilities are often fragmented, and the fragmented responsibilities between urban local governments and state agencies lead to coordination problems. That is, there is coordination challenges. Okay, so both authorities, that is state level agencies, and urban local government, that is municipalities, they are providing services. So because of this, though the primary responsibility is with the municipalities, okay, for service delivery and city governance, but state level agencies like developmental authorities, housing boards, and the water boards, they play key roles. Because of this, there is an overlap of function, and because of the overlap of function, there is responsibilities are fragmented. That is, you can't pin a responsibility for a particular services on a particular authority. Okay, and this leads to coordination challenges. And other than this, you have support from higher authorities also. At the national level, you have Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, MOHUA, okay, short form, Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs. It provides policy guidance and funding. The overall policy is provided by Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs at the national level. And at the state level, you also have state urban development departments to oversee the planning within the guidelines of the Ministry of Housing and Urban Affairs, to oversee the planning and execution. And also, you have not only the Central Finance Commission, that is the Finance Commission of India, as well as you have state finance commissions. These finance commissions, they allocate funds to the local bodies. Article 280 and Article 243K. Okay, they provide finances to the, they allocate funds to the local bodies. So this is regarding the urban governance. Now, let us try to understand the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. So the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act has provided constitutional status to the urban local governments, that is municipalities, and it added a new schedule, Schedule 12, which consists of 18 special functions or specific items which can be devolved from the state to the local bodies. Okay, and also a new part was added, Part 9A to the Constitution, and it articles 243P to 243ZZ. So the objective of 74th Constitutional Amendment Act is what? To empower the municipalities to function as self-governing institutions with constitutional status. So it has provided, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 has provided constitutional status. It has come into being on 1st June 1993. Okay, so what are the key provisions of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act? That is, devolution of powers and responsibilities to the urban local bodies, and also creation of ward committees for local level participation. Okay, so by the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992 has facilitated the creation of urban local bodies, that is urban local government, municipalities, and these municipalities play a primary role for the city governance. Okay, that is, this 74th Constitutional Amendment Act makes provisions for the devolution of powers and responsibilities to the urban local bodies from the state government, and also creation of ward committees. So what is a ward committee? In municipalities where the population is 3 lakh or more, ward committees are created consisting of 1 or more wards. Okay, so the municipal area is demarcated into wards. Okay, so from each ward a councillor is elected by the people. So this ward committee, it facilitates citizens participation. Okay, it bridges the gap between the citizens and municipal administration, taking care of the local concerns or needs. Okay, so this ward committee is created in municipal areas where the population is 3 lakhs or more, consisting of 1 or more wards, and it consists of both elected and nominated members. The elected members are councillors, okay, representing the area, and the nominated members may be from the NGOs, okay, and a chairman is elected from among themselves. Okay, so the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, it devolves powers and responsibilities to the urban local bodies, and also creation of ward committees for local level participation, that is citizens participation, bridging the gap between citizens and municipal administration, and also For this, special training or training programs have been initiated across the states to build municipal capacity. That is, the municipal staff has been provided with special training to take care of the service delivery. Okay. And what are the challenges in implementation? Okay. So there's particular 74th Constitutional Amendment Act. Some challenges are being are faced. So what are those challenges? So challenges like, so many provisions of the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act like administrative decentralization and functional devolution remain weakly implemented. Okay. So as you know, the 12th schedule, 74th Constitutional Amendment Act introduced a new schedule, 12th schedule, and it consists of 18 items, functional items, which can be devolved by the state to the urban local bodies. So there is no proper functional devolution. So these 18 items have now been devolved, and also administrative decentralization has not been done. Okay, so that the whatever functions are there, they can be administered at the local level itself. The state government is still holding the administrative power. So administrative decentralization and financial devolution is a problem. So the provisions of 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, which provides for devolution of powers and responsibilities, has not been properly implemented. And also the states are reluctant to fully transfer the authority and resources to the municipalities. So they are not, though there is a provision of 74th in the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act for devolution of powers and responsibilities, the state still are reluctant to transfer the authority and resources to the urban local bodies. So what are the innovations? So some innovations have been carried out in urban governance. So some of the innovations are, that is, adaptation of new technologies, that is, civic agencies are using innovative governance methods and technological tools to improve urban management. Okay, so some examples we'll take up. For example, Vadodara, there is a initiative in healthcare sector, that is Integrated Hospital Management Information System. So according to this Integrated Hospital Management Information System, the health records of 34 primary health centers have been digitalized. Okay, digitized. Digitization is what? That is, you are entering the details of the health records of the patients in that particular Vadodara, and you are digitizing. That is, you are storing in the computer and you are maintaining the records of 34 primary healthcare sectors. So what is the result? Okay, what is the advantage? That is, disease surveillance, effective disease surveillance can be done, and also timely administrative interventions can be taken up. Okay, so when there is a breakout of any disease and all, you can have a better surveillance, and also timely administrative interventions can be taken up. And also one more example is regarding Mangalore, where you have clean energy initiative, that is solar rooftop systems have been provided, that is installation of solar rooftops have been done to provide affordable and sustainable energy. So this is in energy. So you are providing clean energy. Okay, so one of the initiative of urban local bodies in Mangalore, clean energy initiative have been taken, where on the rooftops of the houses, solar rooftop systems have been installed to provide clean energy, and it facilitates or it provides affordable and sustainable energy. And the impact is what? Better service delivery and help address the diverse need of urban residents. Okay, so this is the impact. So these are some of the innovations, or some of the innovations have been done in urban management, that is, you are using innovative governance methods and technological tools. So best example is Vadodara in healthcare sector, that is, you are using integrated hospital management information system, where the digitization of the healthcare records, health records of 34 from the 34 primary health center has been taken up. So for better service, disease surveillance and timely administrative innovations. And also Mangalore, a clean energy initiative has been taken up, that is solar rooftops, installation of solar rooftop systems to provide clean energy, that is affordable and sustainable energy. So the impact of this is better service delivery and also to address the diverse needs of the urban residents. So because of these initiatives, or the urban governance, or the 74th Constitutional Amendment has come into force on 1st June 1993. So there is some improvement in the quality of life in Indian citizens. That is, The positive outcomes from governance initiatives, that is improved urban mobility, that is transportation. So development of metro rail, electric buses and app-based taxis, that is private sector involvement is there. Because of this, you have better urban mobility. Okay. And also smart cities mission. Okay. Smart cities mission, the project Smart Cities Mission for skill development, cultural identity, energy, water, sanitation, education, health, blue-green spaces, etc. Okay. So, these are some of the initiatives that have been taken and it has resulted in the improvement of the quality of life in Indian cities. And also, digital access to services because of the development in ICT, Information and Communication Technologies. The expansion of IT infrastructure enabled online access to many public services. Okay, in many states, now you have delivery of public services through online access and increased use of online payments for convenience. So, these are some of the initiatives or because of this smart cities mission and also improvement in urban mobility and also digital access to services, there has been improvement in the quality of Indian cities. So, smart cities mission, that is smart mobility, that is improvement in urban mobility, that is mixed modal access, clean and motored option, integrated ICT technologies. Regarding mobility, you are using green technologies. Okay, you are using electric buses, etc. And also regarding smart people, you have education, 21st century educational initiatives, inclusive society and embrace creativity, smart economy, you are using green buildings, that is saving energy, green energy initiatives, green urban planning, that is you are, when you are planning urban, carrying out planning in urban areas, you are providing green spaces so that you have good aesthetics and also the quality of life. And also you have smart government, that using of ICT and e-governance, transparency and open data, enabling supply and demand side policies, smart living, cultural, vibrant and happy, safe and healthy life. So these are some of the initiatives of Smart City Mission. Okay. Now, because see the regarding the involvement of NGOs. Okay. So previously in the beginning, what happened? The earlier approach focused on, that is the civic agencies initially, that is the municipalities initially, they focused on internal reforms, that is managerial, financial, legal, etc. Managerial, financial, legal and administrative. They were more introvert. They focused on internal reforms for better service delivery. Okay. And also capacity development. Now they had limited collaboration with the external stakeholders, that is NGOs. Okay. So initially they focused on internal reforms, that is managerial, financial, legal and administrative, and also limited collaboration with the external stakeholders. Now it shifted to inclusive governance. Inclusive governance is what? That is, you are trying to collaborate with the external stakeholders, that is NGOs. So they have realized the value of external knowledge and expertise, that is NGOs. So they started engaging with the communities, NGOs, research institutions, universities and private companies. And there is a rapid expansion because of this inclusive approach and engaging with the external agencies, that is now the municipalities have started acknowledging the external knowledge and expertise, and they have started engaging with the communities, NGOs, research institutions, universities, private companies. So the role of NGOs has increased, that is non-government entities has increased, that is they started participation in project implementation and also basic service delivery also. Some of the basic services now have been devolved to the NGOs. Now NGOs provide basic services, non-government entities. For example, NGOs are providing sanitation services in urban areas. So what is the impact? Improving the service efficiency and also reduced burden on the financially constrained civic agencies. So the civic agencies are already constrained. Okay, the state governments are reluctant to devolve powers, authority and finances to the state government. So because of this involvement or engagement with the non-government entities, there is better service delivery or if improve the service efficiency, and also reduced burden on the already financially constrained civic agencies. So the earlier approach was mainly focused on, earlier approach of the civic agencies, that is municipality, was focused on internal reforms, and that is limited collaboration with the external stakeholders. And now they have shifted it to inclusive governance. That is, they started appreciating the external knowledge and expertise, and they started engaging with the non-governmental entities like communities, NGOs, universities, and also research institutions, private companies. So now there is an expanded role of the non-government entities in city governance. That is, they started participating in program implementation and also basic service delivery. And also, for example, NGOs are providing sanitation services in urban areas. Because of this, there is improvement in service efficiency, and also they reduced burden on the already constrained civic agencies. Now, what are the challenges? Still, there are some innovations by using technological tools and also modern methods, like you have seen the example of Vadodara and also Mangaluru. In Vadodara, in healthcare sector, you have a project, and also in Mangaluru, you have clean energy project where you are providing solar rooftop systems for clean energy. Okay. And other than that, there is also improvement because of the some projects like smart city mission and also improvement in urban mobility, but still challenges persist. So what are the challenges in city governance? Uneven quality of life. That is, there is regional differentiation. Okay, the quality of his life is not even in the cities also. Okay, that is, services efficiently delivered only in certain parts of the cities. Okay, so certain parts of the urban cities are better provided with services, the others are not. So there is a regional differentiation in the service delivery, and also there are disparities in access based on the location and socio-economic status. Okay, so some areas are socio-economically weaker. There is the commercial area, it is not commercially so developed. Okay, and also because of the location also, service delivery is not proper. So the uneven quality of life persists in the city governance. And also population pressure. Because of constant migration, there is increase in population, and because of increasing population, there is high demand on land, infrastructure and civic services. There is pressure on the infrastructure. Okay, and some of the ongoing civic issues are basic amenities. So some basic amenities are not being provided, like lack of universal access to safe drinking water and sanitation, and urban poor and slums. So one of the feature of the urban areas is you have slums. Okay, so in the slums there is a daily struggle for basic necessities, and the environmental concerns, that is poor air quality, especially in winters. The capital city Delhi is dealing with poor air quality, that is AQI index, high AQI index. Okay, and degraded surface bodies. Okay, the blue spaces have been contaminated. That is, the people, they dump, lack of civic responsibility, and they dump the garbage in the water bodies. Okay, so the degraded surface water bodies and nature reserves. Okay, improper garbage collection. Okay, so there is also concerns, public safety concerns are also there, increase in crime. Okay, especially towards the women, public safety concerns, and infrastructure also. There is pressure because of the increase in population, there is pressure on the infrastructure. Okay, so infrastructure problems also, increase in crime rate, inadequate drainage system, and the civic infrastructure itself is aging, that is old civic infrastructure. So these are some persistent challenges in the city governance. So what are the reforms that should be brought about, or what are the suggestions or solutions that can be brought about? So the main problem is the increase in population in the urban areas, the increase in population because of migration, okay, from rural areas to urban areas, because of the pull. Okay, why there is migration? Because of better work employment opportunities and also basic services. Okay, so there is continuous migration to the cities, and this increases pressure on urban infrastructure. Okay, because of the increase in population, there is a pressure on the urban infrastructure, that is to provide basic services. So What is the root cause of this migration? Lack of employment and basic services in rural and smaller urban areas. And also, so what can be the solution? The solution is provide local work opportunities in rural and semi-urban areas, and also ensured balanced development. As we have already understood, that is unequal quality of life in the city, in the urban areas. Okay, unequal in the sense that is excess of service delivery, that is access to the service delivery is not proper based upon the location and socio-economic status. Okay, and some areas they provide better services in the city, though it's an urban area, but some areas they provide better services. So the solution is at the local level or in the rural and semi-urban areas, better work opportunities should be provided, and also balanced measures should be taken to provide balanced development. Okay, and what is the impact? Okay, because of the migration there is, and see, because of the migration there is overcrowding. Okay, and why the migration is taking place? Because of the better work opportunities and basic provision of basic services in the urban areas. So our solution is to locally provide work opportunities in rural and semi-urban areas, and also balanced development of source settlements. Okay, and this reduces overcrowding and improves livability in larger cities. That is, it will stop the migration, okay, or reduces the migration. And in the long run, it provides equitable regional development and sustainable urbanization. Okay, so in the long run, by following these measures, it will provide equitable regional development and sustainable urbanization. So one more another problem is the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. It provides for the dissolution of municipalities. Okay, in case if a municipality is dissolved, the elections to the dissolved municipality should be held within 6 months. It is mandatory, compulsory provision. Okay, but what is happening contrary to this provision? This provision is only in the letter but not in the spirit. That is, some cities, municipalities have been dissolved but elections have not been held. Okay, so dissolution of municipalities, that is the constitutional provision under the 74th Constitutional Amendment Act 1992. If a municipality is dissolved, elections must be held within 6 months, and this is a legal mandate. That is, it ensures continuity of democratic governance at the urban local level. And also there is an issue of delay. That is, in several cities, when the municipalities are dissolved, the elections are not conducted in time, violating the constitutional mandate, and the municipal bodies remain non-functional. Okay, so the municipal bodies are not functioning properly and they are under the administrative control of the state. Okay, so this is a problem. So what is the impact of this on the governance? So absence of elected municipalities leads to poor urban governance and reduces public accountability. Okay, since the municipality is dissolved and the elections are not held, there is a delay, and this delay causes poor urban governance, and also there is a problem of reduced public accountability. So who conducts elections to the panchayats and municipalities? The State Election Commission conducts elections to the municipalities and panchayats. So the State Election Commission is constitutionally obligated to conduct timely municipal elections, and in order to ensure this, so what is the solution? Solution is what? Regular and timely conduct of elections to maintain functional representative urban governance structure. So care should be taken that the State Election Commission, which is responsible for conducting elections to the municipalities, it should conduct regular and timely elections so that a functional and representative urban governance structure is maintained. And there is also a need to have real-time monitoring of the data. Data is very important. Okay, so what data? Data regarding the tourist and migrant flows, traffic and energy usage, climate patterns, air quality, health and education indicators, and illegal constructions. So the data is very important. Data is dynamic. Why data is very important? For evidence-based planning. Okay, if you have data at your disposal or disposal through real monitoring, you can have evidence-based planning. Planning, it will help in better planning. Okay, it reduces or rules out haphazard planning. Okay, so you can have evidence-based planning and also effective service delivery based upon the data. Real-time monitoring, you are collecting data regarding these all parameters like tourist and migrant flows, traffic and energy usage, climate patterns and air quality, health and education indicators, and illegal constructions. So based on this, you can have evidence-based planning and also effective service delivery. And in order to conduct real-time monitoring and collect data, there is a need for training in data analytics or data analysis and application. That is, the municipal staff should be provided with better training so that their capacity can be built regarding data analysis and application, by which they can conduct real-time monitoring and collect data, and by using the data they can be evidence-based planning and effective service delivery. And the outcome is what? Responsive, accountable, and smart urban governance. Okay, so it will be responsible to the needs as well as it will be accountable and also smart urban governance with relation to the data. That is, there will be evidence-based planning. And one more solution is what? Training. Okay, training of municipal functionaries. Okay, so training is important. Okay, to equip them with the best skills. Okay, needed for smart urban governance. Okay, so need for training. Municipal staff must be equipped with emerging urban challenges. So urban challenges, what are the key urban challenges? Unplanned construction in peri-urban areas. Peri-urban areas means transitional areas. Okay, that is outskirts of the city, from urban to rural area. Okay, so the outskirts of the city is known as peri-urban area. Okay, so the transitional area between rural to urban is peri-urban area. So regular training should be conducted for municipal staff to equip them with emerging urban challenges. That is what? Unplanned construction in peri-urban areas. The key challenges: extreme weather events, floods and heat waves, and rising criminal activities. Okay, so to take care of these emerging urban challenges like what? Unplanned construction in peri-urban areas, extreme weather events like floods and heat waves, and rising criminal activities, you have to provide them training so that to build their capacity so that they can better plan, and also they can better provide services regarding the urban challenges. And what are the focus areas? So in what areas training should be provided to urban staff? That is urban planning and regulatory enforcement, and disaster preparedness and climate resilience, and also public safety and coordination with law enforcement agencies. Okay, so these are the focus areas in which training should be provided for the municipal staff, and it enables proactive, professional, and responsive urban governance. Proactive means what? That is catering to the needs of the people. Okay, for example, disaster preparedness. Proactive, you are preparing for a disaster and you are providing better governance. Professional, okay, you can deal in a professional way. Your staff, the municipal staff, is better equipped now to deal with any situation, maybe disaster preparedness or climate resilience, for that matter, urban planning, okay, in a professional way, because they are trained now. And responsive, that is catering to the needs of the people. And another suggestion is improving the accountability in municipal governance. So how to improve the accountability? So what's happening in urban areas? The people, they are lodging complaints, okay, regarding their grievances. Okay, even if when they are lodging their complaints, okay, or their grievances regarding what? For example, overflowing sewerage, contaminated drinking water, broken roads, lack of footpaths. Even though they are lodging complaints, but there is a delay or inadequate response by the civic agencies. Okay, so accountability needs to be improved. That is, the municipalities needs to be more responsive to the citizens' grievances. So what are the measures that should be taken? Incentives should be given to civic staff showing effective performance. Okay, the civic, that is the municipal staff, if it is providing effective performance, that is based upon the performance, incentives should be given. And if you incentivize the municipal staff, they provide better services and it will be more responsive to the citizens' grievances. That is, when a citizen is raising a complaint regarding any of this, that is overflowing sewerage, contaminated drinking water, broken roads or lack of footpaths, then they will be more responsive because they are now getting incentives also, and it will result in effective performance. And also strengthen the grievance redressal mechanism. So the way the complaint is lodged, okay, who is taking up the complaint and in what time, that is the citizens charter. Okay, the authority that is taking up the complaints, in what time it will address the complaint, okay, what is the standard operating procedure, in what time, and who will take up the complaint. Okay, so the grievance redressal mechanism should be strengthened. So it leads to transparent, accountable and citizen-centric governance. Okay, so it will facilitate transparency. Okay, that is by providing the details, the authority that is dealing with the grievances or the complaints, by providing details of its standard operating procedure, it can be more accountable and citizen-centric. It can be citizen-centric also. So, engaging rag pickers. Rag pickers are very important in waste management in urban areas. So, what is happening? Often the people, they are dumping the waste, garbage, including plastic waste, in open spaces, public spaces, or in green spaces or blue areas. Blue areas means what? Water bodies. Green areas, parks. Okay. So this is leading to what? Contamination. Okay. And also the agencies which are responsible for this, for example, the municipal sanitation staff and the contractors, that is, we have already understood previously that NGOs are involved in sanitation works also. So the municipal staff, sanitation staff and also the contractors, they often show lower efficiency in garbage collection. Okay, people are dumping the garbage in open spaces, public spaces, that is green and blue areas, and also the municipal staff, the municipal sanitation staff and contractors, they are showing low efficiency in garbage collection. So what is the solution? Rag pickers. Rag pickers should be roped in. Okay, so rag pickers, they help manage waste, including the plastic waste often dumped in public places, drains and water bodies by the people. So now what is the solution? Need for engagement. You have to engage the rag pickers, that is the municipality should formally engage and support the rag pickers in municipal waste collection, okay, including the plastic waste. And incentives should be given to them, that is remuneration, that is you have to pay them in cash or kind. Offer incentives either in cash or kind, like for example food grains, so that they help in the management of waste, including plastic waste. So this facilitates inclusive sanitation practices and improves waste segregation and also boosts environmental sustainability. So one of the solution is to engage the rag pickers and to incentivize them, give them remuneration in cash or kind, so that they can manage waste including the plastic waste. And another important suggestion is promoting civic sense, that is civic responsibility. Okay, as a citizen you have a duty. Okay, you should have civic responsibility. Okay, you have to keep your surroundings clean. Okay, so how you inculcate or promote civic sense? That is by awareness campaigns being carried out by educational institutes and municipalities, or municipalities, they themselves and in collaboration with the educational institutes, they have to lead awareness campaigns. Okay, like they have to create awareness among the people regarding the environment. Okay, regarding the environment, regarding the disposal of waste, keeping your surroundings clean, regarding the green areas, blue areas, etc. Okay, so awareness campaigns should be carried out not only by the municipalities but municipalities in collaboration with the educational institutions. So the focus areas here should be waste disposal, proper waste disposal, prevention of water wastage and reduction of traffic congestion, etc. And it leads to public participation. That is, public participation should be encouraged. That is, encouraging civic responsibility through education and community involvement. That is, at the community level also, awareness campaigns should be carried out by the municipalities in collaboration with the educational institutes, and also in the educational curriculum also, civic responsibility should be introduced. Certain chapters should be introduced from the primary level itself, so that civic responsibility can be induced in the children. And at the community involvement should also be there. At the family level, parents should also teach the importance of the responsibility of the civic responsibility and responsibility. So what are the outcomes? It leads to cleaner, disciplined and sustainable urban living. Okay. So this is very important. That is promoting civic sense. And upgradation. Okay. Because of the migration, there is increasing pressure on the urban areas and increasing pressure on the infrastructure. Okay. The infrastructure which has to deliver the services. So there needs to be upgradation. So what is the present challenge? That is, existing systems are inadequate for the demands of rapidly growing urbanization or urban population. That is around 530 million in 2024. Our urban population is around 530 million in 2024. So there is a strain on urban infrastructure. Okay, that is inadequate urban infrastructure because of the rapid growing urban population. That is, so in order to develop, so what is the need of the hour? You have to modernize the physical infrastructure, physical urban infrastructure, that is water supply, sewerage, drainage, road networks, wastewater, solid waste management plants, energy infrastructure. Okay, to develop or modernize this physical infrastructure, you need investment. Not only government but also public investment, like PPP projects should also be carried out. So this results in urban resilience, service delivery and quality of improvement. Okay, so upgradation of physical infrastructure is very important. That is modernizing physical infrastructure through investment. Okay, why? Because the urban infrastructure is inadequate. Why it is inadequate? Because of the migration, increasing pressure on the infrastructure. And also the most important thing is finance. Okay, so you have to strengthen municipal finances. So what is the challenge? Many municipalities, they are struggling to raise sufficient funds both from tax and non-tax revenues or sources. So municipalities, they can raise sufficient funds from both taxed and non-tax sources. So many municipalities are struggling to raise sufficient funds from tax and non-tax resources. So there is a need for financial reform, and the municipalities need to be provided with stronger finances to address infrastructure and services gaps. Okay, right now, what is the main problem? Many municipalities are struggling to raise sufficient funds from both tax and non-tax sources. So they need to carry out financial reforms, and the municipalities need stronger finances to address infrastructure and services gap. And the government support. Not only the municipalities need stronger finances, that is, they need to raise their own finances to tax and non-tax sources, but also the central and state governments must provide financial assistance and capacity building to the municipalities. Okay, so not only the municipalities themselves should carry out financial reforms, that is, they need to have stronger finances to address infrastructure and service gap. That is, they need to mop up more money. That is, they need to raise sufficient fund from both tax and non-tax revenues, but also the state government and central governments must provide financial support to the municipalities, that is financial assistance and capacity building support. And so what does it facilitate? That is, and also the city development goals for each fiscal year. Okay, so every city has development goals. So that development goals for each year, they have to align with the financial needs. That is based upon the city's development goals for each fiscal year. Financial needs or whatever finances are required, they have to be provided to the municipalities. So it enables what? The municipalities to undertake development projects and better deliver urban services. Okay. So these are some of the suggestions regarding the urban governance. So in order to achieve Viksit Bharat, okay, or to make India developed by 2024, we need to reform our urban governance system. That is, the many problems observed in Indian cities needs to be urgently addressed through better management of pressures of urbanization. So this is regarding the urban governance. So these measures have to be taken to properly improve the urban governance. Okay. So thank you.